Mary Tudor, also nicknamed as Bloody Mary for her killing of many Protestants, was the daughter to King Henry VIII and Catalina de Aragon. She was the only surviving child of their union, and Henry's favorite child overall. It is speculated that she was given the title Pearl of his World. Growing up, Mary had a humanist education and was highly educated. She could also speak Spanish, French, and Latin. At just 2 years old, she was betrothed to the Dauphin of France. Of course, however, this union never came to truly be. In 1533, when Mary's mom was 47, Henry and her had a divorce. Henry wanted to execute her, but she came from a wealthier family, a more powerful family line, so the most he could do was divorce her. He then took his situationship with Anne Boleyn as his second wife. Just for her, he had changed the church's way of Catholicism and took control of the Church of England. This was all to marry Anne Boleyn. Mary was a loyal daughter to her mother and refused to acknowledge Anne as queen. Her anger was completely valid. First, her mother was taken from her and stripped of her title as queen. Then Henry forbade her from visiting her mother, just for her to later get cancer in life and die, and still wasn't allowed to go to her funeral. Mary was also forced to become a lady-in-waiting for her half-sister Elizabeth from the union of Henry and Anne, which also declared Mary a bastard. Fast forward, Anne doesn't give Henry a son that he always wanted, and he finds love for another in Jane Seymour. After Anne dies from being beheaded, Jane becomes the next queen. Jane Seymour was a somewhat good stepmother to Mary. She helped Mary and her father make amends and then welcomed her back into the court. Fast forward some more, Jane dies in childbirth, giving Henry his long-desired son he always wanted, Edward. And now, after Jane Seymour's death, Henry's whore-ass had several more wives, one being a kid younger than Mary. Fast forward some more, Henry's dead, finally. And Edward is the King of England, but he dies young, and he doesn't want Mary to be his heir because she's Catholic and he's a Protestant, so he makes his cousin, Jane Grey, the queen instead. She's also known as the 9-Day Queen because although she became queen, she wasn't queen for long. Mary does in fact behead her and becomes the true Queen of England, and later on in life also has beheaded many Protestants and was nicknamed Bloody Mary.